All right, welcome back. I'm Dave, Real Music Observer Dave here, doing what I do, which of course is just observing real music in real time for real people, just like you right there, and just like me right here. So, a story in Ultimate Classic Rock highlights the days when Mick Fleetwood actually tried out for Spinal Tap. Yes, no, I'm not making it up. He did, at least in the sense of doing this publicity stunt where he showed up in a flame retardant suit from head to toe and got behind the drum kit, and then it was later revealed it was Fleetwood or Mick Fleetwood, and people thought that was clever and funny. And, you know, Mick Fleetwood kind of blended right in with the Spinal Tap gang. And, you know, with what's been happening with Fleetwood Mac these days, it's kind of a natural story that dovetails with the current version of Fleetwood Mac, because the current Fleetwood Mac, probably on a credibility scale, are right around the same place that Spinal Tap is. Except here's the thing, people know that Spinal Tap is a parody. They're not sure about Fleetwood Mac. When you bring in two guys that really don't have any connection to the group, other than the fact that one is really a good friend of your main lead singer these days, and the other guy you met on holiday somewhere and you decided that Don't Dream It's Over is the greatest song that's ever been written. You know, I mean, those two things, and then you sell that to people who are buying $15 beers and $40 t-shirts and $300 tickets, and they have plenty of disposable income, and they drive a nice Lexus SUV to every concert. By the way, I don't mean to offend anybody who's watching who owns a Lexus SUV. It's just a vehicle I often see at concerts for some reason. And the SUV thing is puzzling too, because it's usually an older couple who are getting out of the vehicle. It's not like an army of people stuffed inside the car, and you're thinking, wow, they really need that SUV. No, not so much. But that's just an observation. Not everybody. And again, I'm being a little, I'm doing some stereotyping here, so I apologize for that. But it's interesting because, you know, Fleetwood Mac these days, they're really trying to repair the damage they did, because a lot of the fans they're just not going to accept this version of Fleetwood Mac. They're probably more willing to accept Spinal Tap than they are Fleetwood Mac. And of course, the timing of these feel-good stories, Ultimate Classic Rock puts it out there. Here's a story about Mick Fleetwood. Let's put it out there just to show what a great guy he is, what a great sport he is. Meanwhile, he's part of the reason that we don't have Lindsey Buckingham currently in Fleetwood Mac. And fans, even though they might think the story is cute and funny and comical and so forth, they're not going to forgive Mick Fleetwood and look back and say, look at this persona that he had or that he currently has, because he does seem rather Spinal Tap most of the time, if you know what I mean. So, in any event, you can check out the story in Ultimate Classic Rock, and more importantly, go grab some old Fleetwood Mac with Lindsey Buckingham playing on those records, or even better yet, pick up Lindsey Buckingham's solo anthology box set if you haven't done so already. Speaking of picking up music, I'm picking this up. These are the Empty Pockets. They are, I wouldn't say they're friends of mine, but they're good people. And did I have their album upside down? I think I did. In any event, here's the inside. Here's what it looks like. They have several releases, and I'd recommend them. They do have a website, theemptypockets.com. If you're looking for a Fleetwood Mac alternative with some of the vocal tendencies of, say, you know, the mid to late 1960s, some of those harmony groups like the Mamas and the Papas and the Vogues, with Spanky and Our Gang, that kind of stuff, you will really dig these guys. They're different. They're a little vaudevillian in their approach to performing and singing, and that adds even more flavor to an already distinctive sounding group. So check those guys out and tell them the RMO dude sent you. And I don't think they'll give you a discount or anything, but just tell them I sent, you over there. I don't get anything for it other than just the satisfaction of a job well done. So in any event, I'll have more on the Fleetwood Mac story and on other stories, hopefully, as we steer away from this train wreck known as the current version of Fleetwood Mac, and hopefully on to greener pastures and greater things to talk about. See you soon, everybody.